Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com here at the conference offices. Today, the conference announced a new television agreement with ABC, ESPN, and Fox. We had a chance to talk with Commissioner Bob Bowlsby with the details about this landmark agreement. Can you put into perspective what the significance of having reached this TV agreement is?
Well, I think stability is the biggest significance of it, and it's also the appearance of stability. We have been very pleased, I think, with the mutual commitment that our members have made to one another over the last 6 months. We really have made a lot of progress, but I don't think that's the public perception, and this helps to substantiate the public perception. We are a vibrant organization. We're moving forward together, and in the process, we're going to have some unprecedented exposure.
I guess regarding strength and success with the amount of money coming in and the stability you mentioned, where's the Big 12 now position going forward? I mean, this pretty much cements things for about 13 years, right?
Absolutely. It's a 13-year grant of rights. The contracts run through that same period of time. Unprecedented national exposure for us, and the distributable revenue that we'll have in our league to our 10 members is going to be consistent with the very highest in all of collegiate athletics.
The Big 12 is just one of two conferences that has a TV agreement for football with two different networks. What's the advantage of having the joint deal with ABC, ESPN, and Fox?
Well, it's an interesting process for me because I was involved in the process with the Pac-12, and it was unprecedented at that time, and we found that the model had a pretty good chance to work well at the national level. And so the combination of the Fox participation with the ESPN participation ultimately gives us the best opportunity for national exposure. We'll be on Fox broadcast, which is a truly national distribution, as well as all of the ESPN platforms. And so Big 12 exposure will be better than ever before, and it will be better for every institution in our league.
I think this might be the first time that the Big 12 has ever had all its TV rights for football synced up at the same time, where the Tier 1 and Tier 2 rights will last for the same amount of time contract-wise. What's the advantage of that?
Well, when we go to the market the next time, and I wish it would be 12 years from now, but it'll likely be sooner than that, having coterminous agreements with national broadcasters really will make a big difference for us, and it'll optimize the flexibility that we have going forward.
The news of this TV contract broke last March, as far as the fact that ABC and Fox were wanting to do this deal with the Big 12, but it took about 6 months for it to get finalized. What were some of the hurdles and problems and issues that had to be taken care of to get to this point?
Well, one of the complexities of having partners in this sort of a venture in Fox and ESPN is that it makes the negotiations more difficult, and there isn't any question about that. We also have 10 institutions with 10 presidents and chancellors, 10 athletic directors, and 10 general counsels that all want to weigh in on the wordsmithing of the documents. And so there are issues of substance and there are issues of form, and we've had to work our way through all of those things. And there have been some new issues that have come up, and there are some things that have been festering old issues. But I'm happy to say that we've worked our way through all of those, and we can now look forward to some additional opportunities.
It seems like the media landscape changes almost on a daily basis. This new contract, does it allow for any of the new non-traditional delivery systems or new technologies that might pop up over the length of the contract?
Well, it's a great question, and it's one of the things that actually elongated the negotiations, because the ability to identify what new technologies there are going to be and then figure out what they're going to be worth in the value of the product is really one of the big problems that we dealt with. And it was successfully resolved because both our television partners and all of our members agreed to go forward in a trusting manner. And although we can't anticipate every last new technology that's out there, we have a pretty good idea how we're going to deal with them once they arrive.
With ABC, ESPN, and Fox both televising games on all the platforms they have, how much is that going to increase the exposure for Big 12 football over the next 13 years?
Well, the exposure for Big 12 football is going to be extraordinary. It will be double the amount of national exposure that we've had in the past. But it's also important to recognize that our basketball products, both for women and for men, and our Olympic sports will be tremendously more exposed than they've been in the past. This will allow our institutions to have a much broader national profile than they've afforded before.
I think the member schools wanted to make sure that all Big 12 games were available in some form on a broadcast basis. How important was this deal in satisfying that goal as far as making sure that all games are going to be available in some broadcast form?
Well, I think that's the beauty of having two partners, and both partners have multiple platforms, and their commitment was to national exposure. We had already had regional opportunities, but we wanted truly national exposure. That helps recruiting, that helps our brand proliferation, and it certainly helps to publicize the great things that we're doing in the Big 12 Conference.
Thanks a lot, Bob. For the Big 12 Digital Network, I'm Wendell Barnhouse.